All right, so what we're going to talk about is compound interest. So what I've got a situation here is compound interest is different to simple interest. Simple interest goes up in a straight line, whereas compound interest, it doesn't go up straight, all right? And the reason is because you get interest on top of your interest. So if, say, for example, here, I invest $4,000 in an account that pays 6% per annum, so that's 6% each year for 3 years. But we are not doing simple interest, we're doing compound interest. So we don't work out 6% and just keep adding it on, whatever 6% of 4,000 is, and then just keep adding that on each year, okay? Because after this, on the second year, we're going to get interest on top of our interest. So we do it slightly different. So what we do to work out how much money we're going to have in the account, to find out what the balance is, we're going to do 4,000, okay? And we want it to go up by 6%. So if we want something to go up by 6%, we need to multiply by 1.06. So we multiply it by 1.06. And then we say, oh, no, that's after 1 year. So how much do we have after a second year? So again, we multiply by 1.06. And then we think, all right, but actually how much money do we have after 3 years? We multiply by 1.06. And that will give us the answer. The only problem is, though, is that it's a bit of a long-winded way of doing it. So instead of writing on our calculator 4,000 times 1.06 times 1.06 times 1.06, what about if we did 4,000 times 1.06 to the power of 3? Ah, that's much better. That's a much better way of doing it. Yes. So, that is a lot less typing. That's how we do it. Okay. So, if we just enter that on our calculator, you should check that you get, when you do this, $4,764.06. Just check that you get that when you enter that. Now that is the balance, which means how much money is in the account at the end. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a go at the next one. I invest $7,000 in an account that pays 12% for 7 years. So we're going to set this out similar. So we're going to go 7,000 multiplied by, to make something go up by 12%, 1.12. That makes it go up by 12%. I don't want to find 12%, I want it to go up by 12%. And instead of writing it out 7 times, I'm going to put to the power of 7. So if you enter that in your calculator, just check that you get $15,474.77. Just check that you get that. Okay. Now, the next question is a little bit more tricky, because you're not getting, even though we're getting 7% each year, you're not going to get it at the end of each year. You're going to get half of that, but every 6 months. Now that can be a little bit confusing. So the way we're going to set this out is a little bit more tricky, and I'm going to have to make a little bit of space here. So I'm going to do it in this position here. So let me think about this. So I'm going to invest $8,000. So I'm going to type in my calculator 8,000. Then I'm going to press multiply. But the next bit gets a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to now do open brackets, 1 plus. And then I'm going to say, well, what is 7% as a decimal? 7% as a decimal is 0.07. And if I'm going to compound this 6 monthly, well, how many times is 6 months in a year? 2. Close brackets. So how many groups of 6 months do I have in 6 years? Well, if it compounds 6 monthly, that's twice. That's twice a year for 6 years. Twice a year for 6 years, it's going to compound and add to itself 12 times. So, for this question here, enter that in your calculator and just check you get $12,088.55. Just check that you get that. So that's the answer that we're looking for. Okay, so now let's have a go at another one. I invest $12,000 in an account that pays 8% for 5 years, and the interest is compounded weekly. So I'll do this one here. So we do 12,000 multiplied by open brackets 1 plus, we always put 1 in there because we're compounding to increase, and we're paying 8%, 0.08, and we're compounding weekly. So what do we need to divide this 8% by? How many weeks are in a year? 52. Close brackets. Now, if it's compounding weekly, that's 52 weeks in a year for 5 years. What we can do is we could say, well, how many weeks are there in 5 years? Alternatively, we could just do to the power of 5 multiplied by 52. So we enter that in our calculator. Just enter that in your calculator. You might need to pause the video and just check that you get the answer. $17,896.39. Okay, so that's how we do that one. And for our final question here, I invest $16,000 in an account that pays 4.5%, but this time it's compounded monthly. So we need to do 16,000 multiplied by open brackets 1 plus 4.5%, 0.045. Now, if it's monthly, what we're going to divide by? 12. Close brackets. And now, if it's monthly and it's 3 years, how many months are there in 3 years? There's 3 lots of 12, so there's 36. So, it's to the power of 36. Enter that into your calculator and just check that you get an answer of $18,307.97. Okay, now make sure you're possibly going to have to do these questions and watch the video twice to do these questions. Thank you.